Welcome everyone to the webinar on the architecture of Asana. We will begin with the prayer and a short centering practice. Yeah? So please sit with your back erect, relax your body, bring your attention to your breath. You may chant along with me or listen to the prayer. And really bring your awareness to the body, whether it is coordinating the breath with the chant or simply listening to the chant. Listen with your whole body. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankhachakrasidharinam सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं श्रीमते अनन्ताय नागराजाय नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्णवागीशयतीश्वराभ्यां सम्प्राप्तचक्राङ्कणभाष्यसारम् श्रीनूत्नरङ्गेन्द्रयतौ समर्पितस्वं श्रीकृष्णमार्यं गुरुवर्यमीडे विरोधे कार्तिके मासे शतताराकृतोदयं योगाचार्यं कृष्णमार्यं गुरुवर्यमहं भजे। Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Okay. Just give me a moment. Just seeing if I can cut off the external noise. Okay. So just for a change, I want us to just begin with sitting in a very relaxed manner. Like for me, sitting in a relaxed manner is like just sitting. My head tilts to one side, one shoulder goes down. Just relax. Sometimes I may just put my leg up and sit like this. Just find your own relaxed posture. But sit, don't lie down. Okay. So whatever be this posture, it's not the yogic posture, it's not the yoga teacher posture, just a relaxed posture. Now, with this position, once you get into the posture, of course, you're allowed to move as much as you want. Bring your attention to your breath. Just become aware of your breath. So, those who are joining now, I'm just asking you to get into a very relaxed seated posture. You can lean back, you can lean to a side, you can do anything you want, but sit. Okay, and once you got into that seated postures, I see many of you are still sitting with your back straight and all that. I'm not sitting like that. I'm just sitting in a very relaxed manner. Yeah, you can lean back. Just bring your awareness to the breath. Just observe the breath. And bring your attention to the body. Observe the difference between the right and the left side of the body. Just observe. And the connection between the difference between the right and the left side of the body and your breath. If the difference is less, how's the breath? If the difference is more, how's your breath? And also bring your attention to your state of mind. Are there too many thoughts, distractions? Is the mind a little dull and growing a bit lazy? Okay, just take a minute to share your observations on the chat. Just quickly, a few words. Observation of the breath, the body in relation to the breath in relation to the body posture, and your state of mind. Breath feeling balanced, body relaxed but leaning into discomfort. You were sleepy? Yeah. Breath was relaxed when I focused on the right to left. Right was open and breath flowing. Felt left constricted and shallow. Blocked the breath. Uh, Left side has more tension. Breath is quite flat. Right side more tense than usual. Hearing the blood throbbing up my neck from the tight muscles. My breath feels short and not too deep, especially when focused on pain. Mind focused about the same. Kind of avoidant, not wanting to do. Breath relaxed, right side is constricted, felt sleepy. Yeah. Breath is short and mind was wandering, felt sleepy to the end. Okay, before everyone goes to sleep, let's start the session. See, this whole idea of posture, it, we think it is about the body. We think it's about physical conditioning, our structure, tightness, flexibility, strength, alignment, blah, blah, blah. But it is so much about the whole being, right? There is always an internal posturing, and the internal posture is what is reflected in the external posture. Or rather, I would say the external posture is simply a mirror image of the internal posture. So, in India, when we have elders sitting along with us, okay, at least in South India where I live, the habit is they say you shouldn't cross the leg over and sit. It is considered disrespectful. So if I were to sit casually on a chair and cross my leg over and sit, it is considered disrespectful in front of my parents or my parents-in-law or any elder, right? So we have to sit in a very respectful manner, which means the feet have to be down on the floor and the back straight. So it actually brings this posturing of attention, uh, connection, whatever you may call it. Yeah. So if you have memories of being in situations where you are tense, like maybe you're attending an interview, have you experienced that the fidgeting, the feet has to be on the ground but then the feet pulls back, the feet are crossed over, the hands are a little restless, and then when we are with people where we are too relaxed, like we don't even know how we are sitting, like we are completely unaware. Yeah. Then when we are with people, let's say our students, we have to sit like yoga teachers, no? So we sit like yoga teachers. We develop that posture. So when I go somewhere, even if it is like a social gathering, somebody asks me, "What do you do?" I say, "I teach yoga." Oh, I can see that in your posture. It's because I've developed that habit of sitting in a certain way that even if I'm sitting in a social gathering, unless I'm consciously trying not to sit like that, people will make out that this person has something to do with yoga. Yeah. So our state of mind is reflected in our posture. There is no separation between the body and the mind. So the idea of this course came through because more and more we are seeing that yoga is becoming so much more about the body. And whether you go into Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or whatever the social media is, there are just scores and scores of reels and shorts and whatever you may call it. Whenever it is about yoga, it's all about twisted, convoluted postures, appearing very difficult, very challenging. So there will be people who will take to it and will be drawn to it and want to try it, and there'll be people who just completely run away from it, don't even want to go in that direction. So a lot of my friends, family say, no, I don't want to practice yoga because my body is very stiff. or I can't do all of that, right? So in some way, we have lost the connection to the essence of yoga because of the way it is being projected outside. Yeah, it's about something very complicated. It's about speed. It's about variety. Yeah, it's about jumping from one thing to the other, literally jumping. And what is really happening to us in trying to, understand what is yoga? Because our understanding of yoga is not about knowing yoga, but knowing ourselves, right? I need to understand myself. And my first connection is my body. So my first identity is my body. So when I say I, or my name is Saraswati, or I am Saraswati, this first connection is with my body, right? And from very, very early, we start internalizing a lot of ideas about our body through our parents, through the way people see what people tell us, right? I have been told from very young age that I'm very slow. And, in school, I would always be targeted because I'm so slow, I can't catch anybody. And so people used to have fun, like making me run, and I can't run so fast. So I am slow, right? That is stuck with me as a label. Okay, sometimes it is I am fat, sometimes it's I'm too thin, sometimes it's about, in India, this darkness and fairness is another big issue, right? All these ideas about the body that we have internalized. And as we grow up, even if people don't see us that way, even people don't tell us anything, we almost assume and think that this is what people are thinking about us. And it is primarily got to do with our body. So being confident, feeling depressed, everything is shown in the body, right? Even in my posturing, I can actually communicate to the other person how I am feeling, where I am located. So this connection to the body and understanding my relationship with my body becomes extremely crucial. And asana is a beautiful tool for that. Yeah, it's a tool that can act as a mirror unto myself. We all have mirrors at home, but these mirrors are distorted. Not because the mirror is distorted, because our internal mirror is distorted. So sometimes people may come to a yoga teacher and say, no, I need to lose a lot of weight, I'm so fat. But when you see that person, you'll wonder, what are they talking about? They don't seem to have an ounce of extra flesh in their body, but they're saying, I'm so fat, because their mind has internalized a certain picture of how they look, and that is what they will see continuously on any mirror, right? The mirror does not reflect to us who we are. There is an external mirror, there is an internal mirror that we have superimposed, and that is what we see. So asana becomes a mirror in the sense that you learn to see the body in a different way. You learn to connect to a different mirror through sensation, through movement, through the breath, through the feeling in the body. How are you feeling in the body? Yeah. And that is actually speaking the truth, because it is reflecting to you the present moment reality of what is happening in the body. And we are so far away removed from this present moment reality that we simply see the body and understand it based on what we have already internalized without even being aware. So we thought, we do teacher training programs, we have done for many years, right? We have all studied classical postures, how to do them, how to teach them, how to work with the breath. But somewhere there are gaps. Okay. One is that perhaps we have internalized these teachings as, okay, I have to do an asana in this way only. And if I don't get to do Uttanasana with my feet on the floor, with my head touching my leg, I'm not okay, right? Or I can't do that, so it is okay however I do it. Sometimes people may be practicing for many years, but there may be no progression in the body, right? I have seen people doing Surya Namaskar. They say they do it every day. I don't know, but the body is very stiff. So I wonder what is it? So I can continue to do a practice. I can say, I can believe that I'm doing my practice, but I may never progress even at a physiological level. Forget about the mind and the deeper aspects. So, what is really going wrong here? Am I learning something theoretically and applying it in my teaching? And how am I bringing it into my own life? And only to the extent I can internalize these teachings for myself and explore for myself, understand for myself my own body, I would even be able to observe somebody else. Yeah, it is only to that extent I can actually help another person. It doesn't mean that if I don't practice at that depth, I can't help somebody. We can help. We do help. But yoga is not about mediocrity, right? Yoga is about excellence. So it's about being the best I can be in any given situation. I have a new student in front of me. I have to be able to offer the best in a way that they can find their highest potential and grow towards it. So for that, I need to work a lot with myself. So then we thought, okay, then this course on asana should be done in a different way. We're not just going to study the theory, we are going to explore it in a much more practical, experiential manner. Sorry for the disturbance. I'm at a Ayurveda retreat and there are people around. So this is the whole focus of this course. And also we need time, right? We need time to explore, practice, and come back and share and reflect and learn from each other. And as we do this, we'll also begin to see how our own body, our own breath, our own state of mind is changing over a period of time. So 6 months is a good period of time for us to do this exploration, like a slow cook process. Okay. And there are so many dimensions to asana. It's not just one aspect we're going to look at. Traditionally, there are different phases of life and practices are designed for different phases of life. So for somebody, for a child, for example, 4 or 5 years to maybe up to pre-adolescence, child has a lot of energy. You teach what we call the Srishti Krama. Shakuntala, you can put down the words. Srishti Krama is where you are using a lot of asana, vinyasa, movement, jumps, chanting, storytelling. We make it as interesting and invigorating as possible, because we have to really, sow the seed of the love for yoga and the love for the body and the love to work with the body in children. Today, children have lost that connection. Of course, they are very early into organized sport. 7 years, 8 years, children are already training to play tennis, right? And actually, what happens is many of these sports, which are called Anga Bhanga Sadhana, they create imbalances in the body. I mean, it's good to train in a sport and excel in it, but without the balancing effect of a good practice like yoga, they can develop a lot of health problems, particularly spinal deviations. So, bringing yoga through asana in a manner that the child can connect, enjoy, and want to come back to it. Of course, during adolescence, then they will question everything, they will drop everything, they don't want to do anything. Fine. But you have already sown the seed. So the seed will begin to take form, it will sprout, and it will, continue to stay in the life of that child as the child grows up. Then late adolescence to say early adulthood, maybe up to 25 or something, we offer what's called Shikshana Krama. Now, Shikshana Krama is the classical form of asana, the classical techniques of pranayama. So these rules are very firm and clearly laid out, like in Vedic chanting is Shikshana, right? In Vedic chanting rules, you cannot change these rules. You can't change the notations, you can't change the pronunciation. There are rules that have to be followed. There may be changes in different traditions, like north of India chant differently, south of India chant differently, but by and large, these rules are very firm and clearly set. Like that, asana is also done in the classical form. Now, when I use the word classical, usually it means that these are techniques that are presented in classical texts. Okay, and classical texts, the period can be anything from, say, 200, 300 BC to, I don't know, maybe 6th, 7th century AD. After that, then they became the medieval period texts and then the modern texts. But there are many asanas that are not there in classical texts. Okay, and whenever we are referring to classical texts, we are talking about Hatha Yoga texts. Hatha Yoga texts themselves came around 5th, 6th century AD, right? And these texts present a lot of postures and their techniques very clearly. And many schools follow these texts to the T, like following the techniques exactly the way the text has mentioned. In our tradition, Krishnamacharya's teachings is what we call classic. Okay, so whatever he has learned from his teachers and from the text and what he has taught is what we use as a reference. Now, when I started studying, doing my diploma and continuing to study and teach yoga, I was studying with Desikachar and many of the other teachers in this tradition. The classical became ideal for the person. It was not about sticking to a form and forcing the body to get into a certain form and alignment, but really exploring how can this person do that asana, that particular asana, and get the best out of it. Okay, it's not simply modifying the posture for the individual like we do in a group class, but actually fine-tuning it for that individual at that point of time. So then it was about the function and what function is required for that person to achieve, and how do I choose a posture and how do I adapt the posture to serve that function for that individual at that point of time. It became so specific. Okay, so when we are referring to classical, we have to take both. We have to look at the classical form and function that's presented in the text, earlier and later texts. Also, some of these postures might have been presented not in the text but in the traditions, different traditions. Sometimes the same posture may have a different name in a different tradition. Okay, so that's what we learn. And then what is very special about this tradition is we learn how to individualize it for the person. So how to make it ideal for you. That's the whole thing. It's not about constantly having some idea of a classical posture and thinking I will never get there. And so if I will never get there, then there's no point in doing it, right? Or I have to be there now and forcing the body and getting into injury. So we try to move away from either of these directions. Okay. So this is the whole idea. This course has been sort of evolving for me for many years. And in structured training programs, we have the limitation of time. And there's only so much you can cover within the time. And we've always been restricted by that, saying I have to finish the curriculum, I have to do it so much, and beyond that we can't. So I'm hoping that the 6 months of exploration and the time in between. So we are not just coming here once in 2 weeks. If you're joining the course, of course, we are hoping that you will bring some of these explorations and practices into your daily practice and keep it as a continuous thread, through which we learn to look at our body, connect with our body in a very different way. when the asana practice becomes a very loving relationship with the body, very caring relationship with the body, you will never miss it. Somehow we will learn to come back to it because it's like a nourishment. It's like I have to eat every day unless I'm like fasting, right? I have to sleep. So all these primary aspects, it becomes like that. Asana practice becomes like that. So I'm hoping through this course, we will develop that kind of relationship with the body, with the asana practice, and love and enjoy it so much that it will become an integral part of our being. And then that fragrance will spread to as many people as possible. We don't have to worry about it. It will reach more people. There is no doubt. So this is my intent. Okay, the intent is very beautiful, very strong. Now we have to, of course, pray all the forces to allow this to manifest in the best possible way for all of us. Because life is happening, everything is changing all the time. And there will always be situations where we are feeling limited, we are feeling like you can't join, or feeling well, or I'm too distracted, or I can't do this. Doesn't matter. Just stay on the track and see how the intent and the intelligence behind these practices that have been designed by a lot of experiential work will take us in the direction we need to. So I'm going to ask Shakuntala to share the structure of the program.
Yeah.
Then we can discuss more.
Yeah. So before that, shall we just do a little bit of, again, reconnecting to the body?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to invite everyone and whoever can do to stand. What we did sitting down and being in our natural position, I'm going to invite everyone to, or whoever can, to stand. Just stand, get comfortable. You don't need a mat, just need a surface that you can stand on. In a very relaxed manner, please forget that you're yoga teachers, some of you. So, very relaxed manner. How you would stand, right? One hand on the hip, one hand behind, both the hands behind, holding the hands. However you are feeling comfortable. And just bring your attention to your breath. Be how you are. Be where you are and just bring attention to your breath. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you all to, if you can, bring your legs together. Keep your feet parallel. Yeah, keep your hands on the sides of the body if you've already kept them behind. Yeah, see that you're not overarching your spine. And if you can, tuck your chin. Keep your eyes open. And let's take a few moments to get our balance, come to the center. Sway left and right a little bit, just to come back to what's your center in this plane. Keep your eyes open though. Yeah. Now sway forward and back. Just on your feet. And 1 or 2 times clockwise, anti-clockwise. Finding your center, your middle portion. Yeah. Okay. Pay attention to your breath and see how your body is, how your breath is, as you try and find your center. Okay. All right. Now stand how you would stand usually, relaxed, maybe legs apart, maybe hands, slightly softer. Yeah. So we're going to do 2 movements. We may know them quite well. So I'm just going to ask you to raise your hands up and bring your hands down. Okay? Just raise your hands, what's natural for you, and bring your hands down. Do this 2 or 3 times. Okay? All right. Now we will pay a little bit more attention to how we do it. You'll bring your legs together or as close as you are able to balance well. Keep your hands by your side. Keep your chin tucked in. Now we are going to pay attention to the breath and the movement. So as you breathe in, you will raise your hands up from the side, raise your heels, and join your palms. Join the base of your palms. Keep your hands stretched, elbows stretched. Okay? You'll pause, and then as you start breathing out, you'll bring your hands down, heels down, and come back to the starting position. We'll do this 2 times. So whenever you're ready, start breathing in, raising your arms up, raising your heels, joining your palms. Finally, joining your fingers and the sides of your palms and the bottom. And then as you start breathing out, slowly bring your hands down, heels down. One more time, with attention to the breath. Of course, attention to your body to whatever extent you can. Keep your arms stretched. And then slowly bring your hands down and heels down. Okay, now come back to your comfortable position. Yeah, we'll do one more movement. So in this one, standing as you would naturally stand, I'd like you to raise your hands up again and then bend down to touch wherever you can. Okay? Don't close your eyes. And just raise your hands as is comfortable and bend down. Come back up. So while you're doing this, I'm not saying anything about the breath, but just observe it. Stay connected to your breath. One more time. Okay. We'll do the same movement with attention to the body and the breath and the coordination between both of them. All right. So again, come back to the position where your legs are together, feet together, hips are, aligned, not overarching your lower back, chin tucked in, hands by your side. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you to raise your hands up from the front as you start breathing in. Now, as you start breathing out, you will start bending down from the hip and place your hands towards the floor or wherever you can on your legs. When you come up, you're going to raise your arms up first and then start coming up. And then when you start breathing out, slowly bring your hands down from the front. Okay? So we're going to do this 2 times. So whenever you're ready, start breathing in, start raising your arms up from the front. Pause. As you start breathing out, bend down from the hips and place your palms on the floor alongside your feet, wherever you can. When you're coming up, let the arms come to the level of your ears and then start coming to the upright position. Then as you start breathing out, bring your hands down from the front. Okay, if you've done this 2 times, then you can come back to the screen, in front of the screen into a sitting position. Okay.
It'd be good to observe how you're sitting now after the attention to the asanas.
Please unmute and share your observations, your thoughts. Your body, your breath.
You are sitting like in front of the elders. I mean, automatically the body is more erect and more attentive.
For me, it's a little bit more energized. I come from a walking exercise. Before I joined this class, I was walking, so I was a little bit, let's say, empowered. And now I feel a little bit more relaxed and really more centered with the body. Yeah, it's a little bit exhausted first, but this helps to come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that doing the postures with the breath and the arm movements, I was much more grounded and much more control over the movement. Interestingly, though, when I came back and sat in the seat, I just sat in my comfortable position. I didn't actually sit upright. So I that focus, that awareness, I kind of lost it when I sat back down in front of the screen. Interesting. On your side.
I definitely it felt like harder to do the postures when you were too relaxed. And I noticed my balance was really off as well when I came to the position where you had to do it was really nice to do that really slowly because you really could get a sense of where the middle of your body was. But I too also just came straight back to same as Nirmalara, and I just came back to an erect position. I didn't go back to my relaxed position in the chair. I automatically wanted to keep my spine straight up.
I was almost like very fast when I was not standing. So it was like tuck, tuck, like I was doing PT. And when I stood with my feet together and observing my breath, it was more stable, and I was also stretching and more, it was longer and more stable. So it was not PT. But Saras, as soon as you said observe how you're sitting after, I realized I had come and I plopped again lazily right after, right? And I was like, are you okay? So I didn't notice that until as soon as you said it, I was like, oh shit.
Interesting for me because I was very happy in the relaxed forward fold. I could have actually stayed there for a long time. I was feeling with the legs. So I was like, oh, I'm just very happy. And then when we became in the posture, something in me was like, samastitihi, and then everything became a little bit tight and stiff, and I know what's supposed to happen next. And it was relaxed, but I became very almost like militant about the practice. So that was interesting to watch. The breath flew, but just militantly.
For me, I had my Sunday breakfast and not much time has passed after that. So when I was doing the practice, it hit me that how heavy I am feeling. My body is not wanting to move, and the breath, especially in the forward bend, was really impacted. But when I sat after the practice, I'm feeling a surge of energy also. So that was very nice feeling. Like I felt some brightness in my face also after doing the practice.
Yes, poor Sylvie, please. You raised your hand.
The sister who was talking before me, the same thing with me also. It's my brunch time. So I heard just my brunch. So what she said, the same feeling I had, but now I'm feeling little lighter after doing it. Thank you. And sitting also feels little, energized, and I become active. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Though I didn't do it along with you. Sorry.
I'd just like to add one thing. What Tara shared was interesting about, like, when you're relaxed, you're so relaxed. And then when you have to bring the attention, then there's some kind of, there's a feeling of some restriction. I've always also felt it when we are trying to get into the classical form of a posture, right? So this is also about how we function, how the mind functions, right? So when I'm relaxed, I can be overly relaxed and lose my attention also, or I can become so fixated that I have to be attentive that I can become, little rigid. So that whole balance between these two, the idea of sthiram sukham in asana, sukham and sthiram both balancing each other is really how asana is defined. So I think you brought that perspective very clearly. Thank you. How do you find the middle point? How do you bring the relaxation and the attentiveness into a posture that is ideal for you? Like that, Yes, Shakuntala.
Yeah, so I wanted to say that though I didn't do the movement along with everybody, when I was instructing on keeping your body aligned and following the instructions for the movement and the breath, I found myself also becoming like the body coming together and the breath also aligned with what I'm saying. So then a thought came to me that like what you're saying, Saras, probably that's something also, it's there always, that you can't take away some of these patterns in the mind, how the body works or how the mind thinks, right? Or it is also a kind of habit that the moment you start connecting to the breath, you're more aware of keeping your prana close to you, your body close to you, right? Your attention on how you're speaking, how you're moving your entire body or keeping it still. So while you were all doing the movement, this is what I was going through. Yeah. So though I'm in the same position, asana by definition, without any movement, I was also feeling aligned and body, stable, breath long and stable, right? And focused. Yeah. So each one experiences the movement, experiences asana in their own unique way at different points in time. I can totally relate to what Pratima is saying. Yeah. So I'm going to share the what we're going to cover. And we've already, Saras has spoken about how this whole course, what was the intention behind it? How did it evolve? And what are we going to do? So I'm going to talk about the scope. Though a lot of information is available on the website, we thought we will go through it together. So what you will learn overall is what are the various definitions, meanings of asanas from various texts, from our own understanding. And we look at classifications. We'll work with breath in asana and how to modify asanas with variations in breath, right? Subtle variations in asanas, okay? And working with what is ideal for each person. Yeah. We'll go through the around 52 asanas, okay? The meanings, classifications, the Vinyāsa Krama is how do you start the asana, what are the various steps into the asana, the final posture, and then coming out, which is equally important. Certain asanas have prerequisites, there are contraindications. We'll also look at various functions as mentioned in the text, benefits that one may gain or doing the asanas over time. We'll look at drawing the stick figures. Yeah. And then some common modifications, variations of asanas. Again, in Rakshana Krama, we may touch upon a few things from Chikitsa Krama, but that's not the focus. So Chikitsa Krama is therapy. We are going to look at Rakshana Krama. Okay. And the way we will learn in these 6 months is going to be, we're going to learn, going to get together on alternate Saturdays for 4 hours. And we'll structure it in such a way that there is some, there's theory, there is philosophy, right? And there's going to be practical work on asanas, on understanding through your own work with your body, with your breath. You will practice in the class. You will do the classical asanas as how we'll instruct. And also by yourself in between these sessions during the break weeks that you have. And come back with some sharings, come back with your own observations, understanding of your own body, and your understanding of the asana. Okay? Some of the very important things that you have to do when you come for the class, come ready to do the practice, your setup wise, your clothing, meals, take care of your meals, see that based on your time zone, see how you will take care of what you have eaten, and what you will have during the breaks. See that you sleep very well, okay? And we would like you to take ownership of understanding your own body and to do to the extent that you're able to do without harming yourself. Okay, please reach out to us if you have any health issues, anything that you'd like to talk to us about, so that your process of learning and experiencing the asanas is with an open heart, open mind, joyful, yeah, and that curiosity, holding the curiosity moment to moment. Saras, you want to add anything here before I go to just the logistics?
Yeah. See, it's possible that some people may join who may not be able to attend because of the time. We are in the middle of the day in India. Even if you are working with the recordings, make sure that you're doing the practices along with it, because the actual learning only comes through practical exploration. It has to be experiential. It's not an information sharing program at all. That's what we wanted to emphasize. So if you are coming into class, at least 2 hours before the class, have a meal, have a light breakfast, and make sure that you, because a lunch may be delayed, have a fruit or something very light. We don't want you to stay hungry, but a little bit of hunger is okay to work with the practice. Yeah, we don't want to feel heavy, and it will affect the flow of the prana and sometimes may cause a headache if we have eaten and we do a practice. And the mind also is not very attentive. So these things we wanted to take care of depending on where you are in the world. I mean, we're just assuming that whoever has joined is going to join the course. May not be, but we're just giving this also as an orientation. Yeah.
Siglin had a question. You raised your hand.
Yes, I would like to understand, what does Svadhyaya mean?
Svadhyaya is moving towards yourself.
Okay.
So understanding yourself. So here you're using the body as a mirror to understand yourself.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. So, we have 12 sessions over 6 months, June to November. We will start the course from 20th of June. And then July, August, September, and October, we have 2 sessions in a month. November, we have 3. Okay, so please mark these in your calendar. The time is from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. India time. So those joining from India, please plan your lunch. Those joining from different time zones, again, plan your meals well. So the whole session will have, theory. We'll also have classical asanas. There are some sessions where we may have more than an hour of doing the asanas. There are some sessions where it not be like that, but on an average, we are planning to do it for an hour. Right? We want to have time for small group interaction in the session. because that's where a lot of learning happens. And then also have some time for review, recap, anything else that you'd like to share. Okay. This is all there on the website, just for an easy way to understand. Yeah, so who can do this? Anyone who is a yoga instructor, yoga teacher, yoga therapist, based on your certification and what you work as. Coming back to the basics to, again, deepen your understanding, go back to looking at each asana, the Vinyāsa Krama, definitions, anything that you would like to learn about. One of the important tools in Ashtanga. Any regular yoga practitioners who may not have done any of these courses, but who are practicing yoga regularly and would like to take it further into their own understanding. Yeah. We also have students from the current Yogacharya batch, which we're starting. So there will be a few students from there and they will be in that course. And anyone else who would like to take it as, continued education. So these hours are also part of that. So you can, I think every year you have to have certain hours. So you can take these hours for those. Okay. Yeah, that's the end of what I wanted to say. Any questions, anything?
See, I thought I would add the name of this course, Architecture of Āsana. The name was given by my friend Mala, who's not a yoga teacher. It's said Architecture of Āsana. It sounded very nice. So I've been reflecting on this name. Right? So when we're talking about the body, there is obviously so much focus on the physical aspect of it, the spine, the structures, the muscles, and, the alignment, flexibility, strength, all of that. It feels like we are dealing with something very solid, right? Now, like a few years ago, we had our house built in the village. And we had a group of young architects who built that house for us. And of course, there is a lot of decisions about what the walls will be made of, what the ceiling, how the ceiling will be constructed, how many windows, how big they will be, all of that. But what's most vital in a house is the space that it holds, right? How do you feel in that space? So these young architects, they would actually, when I would visit the site, they would say, come into the bathroom. Come and close your eyes and see how you feel in the bathroom. See how you feel with such big windows. So that whole feeling in your body and how you are experiencing the space is the most vital aspect of an architecture, right? It's not the form, it's not the relics, the structure and all that. While all that is important, they are actually there so that the space can be created. And how one experiences that inner space is what matters. So how am I experiencing my inner space in every asana? Right? And that inner space is not just a physical space, it is the space in my mind. So how sometimes when you get into an asana, you may not even experience it in the asana. Okay, let's say I've stayed in Mahamudra for 20 breaths on each side, and then I come back to Baddha Konasana. And then I just sit in Baddha Konasana for 1 minute. There is completely a different way in which I experience a space within my body. Okay. And that means that something is shifting in the mind. That whole, the proportion of the Rajas, Tamas, Sattva is changing. The proportion of the Panchamahabhutas is changing. The way in which the 5 pranas are working through the body is changing. Something is shifting. So as we do the practice, we begin to experience a greater level of spaciousness within us, spaciousness in our mind, to be able to take life as it comes. So asana, one of the benefits of asanas, tato dvandva anabhigataha. that we're able to tolerate, overcome, or transcend dualities. And that's a very real thing in asana, because if we really are able to create that spaciousness within us, one is able to experience the highs and lows of life with greater level of equanimity. How does that happen? Even like withstanding heat and cold. Of course, we will experience greater heat or get greater cold, but we are not constantly complaining about it, or the mind is not worrying about it or getting disturbed by it. This level of spaciousness is experienced when what is not supposed to be in the system is eliminated. We are cleansing the system continuously. At the physical, physiological, mental, emotional, at all levels, we are removing the impurities so that the prana can flow well. And when the prana flows well, you experience that spaciousness. So the most subtle of the Panchamahabhutas, beginning with the Prithvi, the earth, water, fire, air of course is the breath, to experience that space. And that is the whole idea of working with asana. So I'm hoping we will be able to work with it at that level. We'll be able to work with asanas like a meditation. And that can actually enhance our pranayama. It can help our meditation to become much deeper. It can help us to make better choices with the food that we eat, with our lifestyle. Many things that we are struggling to change, maybe it can come more easily, more effortlessly, when we're able to do this kind of work with the body, because ultimately it is the body. Yeah. Like this beautiful phrase from Kalidasa's Kumar Sambhava that was Krishnamacharya's favorite quote. He said, Sharira Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. The Sharira, the body is the first thing and the most important thing for Dharma, for you to act and live in this world in a way that we are learning how to do the right action at the right time in the right manner. And there's also a beautiful verse from the Tirumandram in Tamil. It says, Ullam Perunkoil, Unudamba Alayam. So the body is like a temple. To take care of this body, clean it and protect it, so that the self within can shine and can help us live our fullest potential. That there is no separation from who we are. That veil, what covers us from understanding who we are, becomes thinner and thinner through the right kind of practice. So let's not look at this asana practice as just a bahiranga sadhana. It has to become a vehicle for our antaranga sadhana. Any questions, clarification?
So the word what you have put in the chat, the Pankamaputas.
Panchamahabhutas, the 5 elements that make up the physical universe, right? Including our body is made up of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Space is the most subtle, from where everything else is born.
Okay. Thank you.
More questions? One thing I wanted to say, because the title is Architecture of Āsana, sometimes people may come with the assumption that we're going to get into the modern anatomy, which we are not. So we're not going to talk about the modern anatomy of asana. That's not the direction we will go. We will, of course, look at the pranas, the agni, and the subtle anatomy of the nadis and chakras at a very basic level, nothing too deep into it. Yeah. Yes, Meeta.
I just wanted to check that no basic knowledge is required for this, right? If a newcomer wants to do it, they don't need to know any terminology, nothing, right?
Yeah, you don't need to, but sometimes in our habit of rolling out these words, sometimes it may come. People can stop and ask question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shanti, you had a question? Shanti. I thought Shanti had a question. That's okay.
Okay, so nobody
So
has.
the fee and the registration, all those details.
You just
For
put the
Selvi, yeah, it's all on the website. I will put the link here on the chat also, in case anyone
Okay.
wants to. Yeah, so the course is starting on 20th of June, but in the meantime, you can register, go through it on the website, find out more details, and stay in touch with us.
Okay, thank you.
I'll share my number in case anyone wants to get in touch. We also have YogaVahini number, but you can also get in touch with me if you have any questions.
Better they get in touch with you, Shakuntala.
Yeah. Okay, some of you know me, those of you who don't. This is my number.
Shakuntala and I will be teaching this course together. So we are going to be doing a lot of work, learning a lot. I'm quite excited about it. Yes.
So, yeah.
I just wanted to ask, because will there, with this course and the Yoga Sadhana program, because there's a practice that comes with that and they're sort of going to be parallel, and I'm sure not everyone who is doing both of them, but will we be able to sort of work with the architecture of asana in some aspects when we're practicing with the yoga sadhana program?
Yeah. So the way I would look at it is, on a particular in a particular session, we may cover up to 4 or 5 asanas, let's say. And then we give you some pointers for exploration. We might say, okay, work with this asana in these ways as a homework. You can take one asana a day and work through it, because you have 2 weeks to come for the next session, right? So you can continue to do your practice through sadhana or your personal practice, but this will be like an additional 5-10 minute exploration each day. That's all I would think. But the continuity is important. Like when, let's say tomorrow is a session, you don't practice today. You practice through the 2 weeks, explore sadhana, so that it can be part of your contemplation. You can continue to explore. Even in the sadhana, these postures will be there. So you'll be able to connect to that. Yeah.
Yes, you'll be able to take the questions
Correct.
as you're practicing, with also the questions from the yoga sadhana. There's sort of an interweaving of them to expand and develop on them.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I can't make the first day because I'm traveling. So that's pretty unfortunate. But is it possible to watch recordings and stay up to date?
You can watch the recording, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. We'll create a WhatsApp group for the course. You can put your questions there or reach out to us if you have any questions or doubts. We're happy to help with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But because it's a practical session, once you have all the dates, unless you have some predetermined other commitments, try and work around these dates so that you're fully present in the class. Okay. Shall we close?
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks a
Bye.
lot. See you all
Thank
again.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thanks,
ma'am.
Jules.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.